Oh my god. You're so awesome, Lawrence Lim.
It's Lawrence Lim with the W.
A man was driving down the road with his monkey in the back of the van. He sees a hitchhiker and picks him up. They were going down the road talking when the monkey came flying up front and unzipped the driver's pants and just goes to town on him. The man slaps the monkey and makes him go back to the van. Well, a few minutes later, the same thing happens again. The hitchhiker says, "Man, that was amazing. I've never seen anything like that." The driver says, "You want to try it?" Hitchhiker says, "Yeah, sure. Just don't hit me that hard."
One morning, Johnny woke up hungry. Man, he ran downstairs. His mama had a plate of grits on the table with eggs, bacon, and a glass of milk. He sat down. His mama said, "Nah, get up. Go take that garbage beside the road. I told you to do it last night. Get up and go take it out beside the road." He jumped up, man. He walked up, kicked the front door open, walked outside. The chicken was walking past. He kicked the chicken. A pig walked past. He kicked the pig. He pulled the garbage beside the road. And on his way back, a cow walked past. He kicked the cow. When he got back inside, it was a plate of toast on the table with a glass of orange juice. He said, "Mom, where's all the food?" She said, "No, I seen you kick that chicken, so no more eggs for a week. You kick that pig, so you don't get no more bacon for a week. And you kick that cow, so no more milk for a week." At that moment, his dad was walking downstairs fixing his tie, and they tripped over the house cat. He turned around and booted the house cat across the room, came and sat at the table. Johnny looked at his mom. He said, "You want me to tell him, or you gonna tell him?"
An old man was sitting in a park bench and he was crying his eyes out. A young jogger comes by and asks him what's the matter. The old man says, "Well, I'm a multi-millionaire. I got a great big house, the fastest car in the world. I just married a beautiful blonde and she takes care of me every night, whether I like it or not." Well, the young jogger says, "Man, you got everything I ever dreamed for in life. What could be so wrong in your life that you're sitting here on a park bench crying?" Well, the old man looks at him and says, "I don't remember where I live." Bob and Jane were married for 25 years. When they first got married, Bob says, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna put a box under the bed, but you gotta promise never to look in it." In all their 25 years of marriage, Jane never looked. However, on the afternoon of their 25th anniversary, curiosity got the best of her, and she lifted the lid and peeked inside. Well, inside the box were 3 empty beer cans and $1,300 in cash. Well, she closed the box and put it back under the bed. Now she knew what was in there, but she was curious as to why. Well, that night they were out for a special anniversary dinner, and after dinner Jane could no longer contain her curiosity, and she confessed, "I'm so sorry. For all these years I kept my promise. I never looked in the box under our bed, and today in temptation I looked. Now I know that there were cans in there, but why do you keep the cans in there?" Well, Bob thought for a second and said, "Well, I guess after all these years you deserve to know the truth. Whenever I was unfaithful to you, I put an empty can in the box, just to remind myself to never do it again." Well, Jane was shocked and sad, and she said, "I'm a little disappointed, but I guess after all those years away from home on the road, temptation does happen, and I guess 3 times isn't that bad considering 25 years of marriage." Well, they hugged and made their peace, and a little while later Jane asked Bob, "So, why do you have all the money in the box?" Well, Bob looked at her and said, "Well, whenever the box filled up with empties, I cashed 'em in." A guy and his date were parked on a back road some distance from town, doing what guys and girls do parked on a road. Abruptly, the girl stopped the guy dead in his tracks. She said, I really should have mentioned this earlier, but I actually charged $20. Well, the guy reluctantly paid her, and they did their thing, and after a while, the guy just sat there in the driver's seat, staring out the window. The girl looked at him and said, "Why aren't we going anywhere?" "Well, I probably should have mentioned this before," he said, "but I'm actually a taxi driver, and fare back to town's $25. There was a couple celebrating their golden wedding anniversary. Their wedding had long been known around town, and on this very special occasion, a local newspaper reporter paid them a visit. He asked them the secret to their long and happy marriage. "Well," said the husband, "it all goes way back to our honeymoon. You see, we visited the Grand Canyon, and we took a trip down to the bottom of the canyon by pack mule. Well, I hadn't gone too far along when my wife's mule stumbled a little bit. Well, she quietly said to the mule, 'That's once.' We proceeded a little further, and the mule stumbled again. My wife quietly said, 'That's twice.' That mule hadn't gone a half-mile further when it stumbled for a third time. My wife got off the mule and bang! Took that mule out. Well, when I turned to my wife and protested, she turned to me and said, 'That's once.' So we've been, happy ever since." Which one of these jokes is your favorite? Leave me a comment down below. Thanks!